掌声跟欢呼声给他们一下好吗？好的，那我们赛前先采访一下嘎姐，因为我们这边一直开玩笑说你跟李培南就像母子，以前你们也在一个俱乐部过，然后呢，这一次你也要看着一个以前很小的时候跟在你后面打游戏的少年。打比赛的少年也拿到过冠军，然后现在跟你一起站在我们传奇邀请赛的总决赛的舞台上面，心情是什么样的呢
？Yeah, you know, in Chinese community we have a meme. You is Oliveira's mother, and when you first meet him, he's a really young child, and now he's growing up. We are champion, and you guys have been in same club, and during this experience. What's your emotion, or what do you want to say?
So the first time I met him was like 10 years ago now, a long time. We played in Shanghai on stage. And then the next year he came to live with us in Korea. And I've known him very well since then. We've lived together in China and Korea multiple times. And I've seen him get better and better since then. And, you know, I used to be better than him. I used to beat him. But in recent years, he definitely did way better than me. He got world champion. This is the first time we get to play in a finals, though. So I'm hoping for a very nice match.
在我记得我第一次跟他打比赛是10年之前的上海，在线下赛跟他打过一次。然后这之后呢，我们见过很多次，有的时候是在中国，有的时候是在韩国。在这之间打过很多比赛，也见过很多次。他们在韩国也在一个训练营待过。然后这段时间呢，他也见证了李培南的成长，看到他变得越来越强，然后慢慢的他就开始打不过他了，然后但是呢，他非常开心能最后跟他打这么一场决赛，这是他第一次跟李培南打决赛，他也希望这是一场很不错的比赛。
那牛牛哥哥在赛前有没有想过自己总决赛的对手会是嘎姐？因为嘎姐也是，在你很小的时候你就跟在她后面一起打比赛的，现在在总决赛的舞台上面跟嘎姐相见了。
其实有想过吧，我就感觉重塑肯定会进决赛啊。但是所以的话就是也准备了很多，按他说的，其实我们第一次去韩国，当时我才15、16岁吧。然后有很多观众是夺冠之后看我比赛的，也有是从我当时该出道就看我比赛了。然后从14岁，现在已经26岁了，就真的挺久了。然后我觉得每次真的线下赛挺难得的，所以我不能立什么 flag 说我一定能赢，但是我觉得我的付出是足够，看老天爷给我一个什么样的剧本吧。
今天的牛牛哥哥，加油吧！我们期待你跟嘎姐能够给我们带来一场精彩的决赛。来，我们给牛牛哥哥加油，好不好？好的，那两边选手可以进入对战席了，我们的精彩决赛马上开始。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the ST2, to the Douyu Cup 2026 Day 4 Grand Finals. Let's go, let's go. I'm of course VIP with you and joined by these amazing players and by the people in chat as well. Welcome one and all. It has been an intense week of StarCraft, 4 days back to back of non-stop StarCraft action over here in China. And now we return with our top 2 players of the tournament, Scarlett versus Oliveira. I'll be honest, I was expecting a Sue versus Innovation finals, but no, Scarlett took down Sue earlier. Of course, TY took down Innovation, and then Oliveira was looking dominant in his semis. Likewise, so was Scarlett. I love that they brought it back to some of their history, because for those that remember, I mean, it was back during the, at least for me, heyday of StarCraft. They lived together in Korea in the Team Unity team house. It wasn't just Oliveira. Back then he was called Time, of course. It was Time and Cloudy. I still miss Cloudy. I'm not gonna like. I was a big Cloudy fan. Cloudy. I remember he started casting for a little bit after retiring, and then I think he moved on to his own things, of course. But Cloudy, alongside Oliveira, alongside Scarlett, No Regret, Neeb, and many others, were all living together in Korea. Of course, this is back in, what, 2016-ish era of StarCraft, pre-COVID, of course. I say 2016, sorry, like 2017-18 kind of like period of StarCraft, pre-COVID, of course, because once COVID hit, then the team house shut down. If you remember that the team house shut down, as everyone did return to their native countries, of course. But yeah, it's been so long. Of course, Oliveira became a world champion, retired from the game, recently coming back, of course, for this event. Likewise, Scarlett also has been taking a bit of a step back, focusing on zero space, but now is in full swing as well. And it's going to be a hard one to call. I lean a little bit more towards Scarlett here, but I know that, I mean, hey, if Oliveira was practicing until 2 a.m. last night, like, I'm curious to see what he brings to the table as well. I'm curious, I'm excited. Let's go as we get ready here for our best of 7 grand finals. Let's go, baby, let's go. Fabulous. I wonder how much Chinese Scarlett speaks. From my understanding, she's pretty, I don't know if I want to say fluent, but she like understands a lot of it, and she's pretty good. Pretty solid. I want to say that she can like hold a conversation more or less, but we're jumping right into our game, into our series, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Lockdown. We do have Scarlett, the Canadian Zerg for Shopify. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have our opponent. We do have the Chinese Terran player. It is Oliveira. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. It's Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat. Again, it's going to be a hard one to call. Best of luck with your predictions as we get ready for that best of 7. Let's go. First things first, we're going to Lockdown is an interesting map. The map pool, very secure on 2 bases, and Oliveira setting up on the low ground here. Again, going for a greedier start, but this does make sense considering the fact that this is a very secure natural on Lockdown. Because of the ramp, the idea of going 2x Reaper here on Lockdown makes plenty of sense, so we're leaning more towards 2x Reaper play. Likewise, we could otherwise go for the Juanito special build, which will be Rax Factory into Expand instead. Oliveira has options, but again, we're leaning more towards a 2-Rax opener. Meanwhile, Scarlett does go hatch first, is opening up standard hatch gas pool out of Scarlett. Meanwhile, the second SCV does come down, and we are setting up for that second Rax. So 2-Rax Reaper out of Oliveira. I will say that in general, Reapers are getting across the map a little bit faster, just because of the timing, just because of the lower worker counts. And we have seen a lot of Zerg players open up with instead faster spawning pools. Here, it is going to be a later pool and earlier hatch. So I'm curious to see now with the new timings, because of the different worker counts, how much damage is Oliveira going to find with the initial 2-Rax Reaper commitment. Now, traditionally, when it comes to 2-Rax Reaper, you only need to make 3 Reapers, and then you can transition. If you want to commit a little bit harder to try to punish a player taking their third base, you can go up to 5 Reapers at most. We'll see if Oliveira cuts at 3 or goes up to 5. Remember, there's not an all-in. I should emphasize that as well for those that are maybe a little bit newer. 2-Rax Reaper is not an all-in. It's an aggressive opener, that is true. It's aggressive. It's designed to contain the Zerg player, delay the third base, find some minimal damage, and build up in towards the early to mid-game. And it transitions nicely into a 2-on-1, or you could even go into a 3cc 2-on-1. But here we go. We do have our first Reaper moving out. We have our second wave behind this as well. Again, we're expecting 3, but we'll see if we go further than just 3 Reapers. Back at home, we do see Scarlett massing up her queens. We have 6 Lings on the way. The Overlord does confirm the 2-Rax Reaper, so Scarlett's fully aware. And as a result, Scarlett should be prioritizing Link Speed. There we go. Link Speed is being prioritized, and the third base will be delayed. But now we have our dance. We have our dance here. Lings, they do keep up with the Reaper. It's all about minimizing losses, and the Queen will pop out. So with the help of the Queen, we can zone the Reaper away. Oh, and do you see what I see? Look at the production tab. That is not a 3rd CC. That is not a factory. That is a 3rd Rax. That is a very aggressive follow-up. Meanwhile, KDA charge on the Queen. Queen does take a lot of hits. Reaper's going to be zoned away. And it was 3. So as we mentioned, it is standard to stop at 3. So 3 Reapers, then you transition. And you might be looking at this and might be thinking like, hold up, but Oliveira's not killing any workers. True, but what's he doing? Denying the 3rd. Scarlett cannot expand. Scarlett is stuck on 2 bases, and now you can see the Observer zooming in. The Observer does point out that 3rd Rax. Again, a very aggressive follow-up here from Oliveira. This is going to be leading into a very strong, very early stim timing, which is not normal. I should emphasize that as well. Like, this follow-up that Oliveira is going for is much more unorthodox and much more aggressive, and is not often expected after a 2-Rax Reaper opener. So it's on Scarlett to try to figure out what's going on. Now the Reapers, they poke into the main, they poke in, they pull away. Once again, we have not lost a single Reaper so far. Link's speed is about to finish, and as it finishes up, Oliveira has to get the hell out of here. And as Oliveira pulls away, now Scarlett can finally expand. But again, this is a late third base. And Oliveira is aware of his timings because he pulls away as Link's speed finishes, so he avoids the Reapers getting surrounded. So he pulls back home. Meanwhile, we have Sim, Combat Shields. We'll see if this hits with Medevacs or not. Like, I'm curious to see if Oliveira waits for the factory and waits for the starport and waits for Medevac production, or if he just goes purely with Marines, and he might even pull the boys with this, but we have the answer. Yeah, factory's on the way. Tells us that most likely Oliveira wants to wait for Medevacs. So factory into starport into Medevacs. Meanwhile, we can see Scarlett walling off across the map. Ooh, and Scarlett is going Lair first. Lair into Roach Warren. Okay, a very safe way to play here. When it comes to Roach heavy play in ZVT, it is considered very safe just because Roaches are very robust. They don't require too much larva. They're very larva efficient units, as Lingbane can be larva inefficient because you have to spend so much larva on Lingbane. You have to be on top of your macro, on top of your injects. Roaches, they're supply inefficient instead. That's the alternative kind of route here. Meanwhile, nice catch on the Marine, and Oliveira does move out early, does catch an Overlord at least, but Scarlett is aware of the push. Does scout the push, does stop any reinforcements for now, and Oliveira cannot get across the map. So far so good. In the end, the Sim timing doesn't quite hit, but as we mentioned, Oliveira does have another window with Medevacs. Oliveira's only lost one Marine. There's that starport, eventually into Medevacs. More Marines are amassing. Oliveira does rotate, and it looks like Oliveira still wants to find some damage here, still being somewhat active. This is risky just because without Medevacs, it means that these Marines are on their own. But so far, because there are so many of them, they can hold their own against a low amount of Lings. Meanwhile, Scarlett is fixated on that Roach Ravager, +1 Rangers on the way. From the side of Oliveira, this is looking more and more like a 2-base all-in. The reason why I say that, by now there should be a 3rd CC well on the way. There's no 3rd CC in sight. Just building up more tanks. Nice catch on all these Lings. And Oliveira will soon pull the trigger. Again, just waiting for his Medevacs. Does it up, does move out. Now Scarlett should have a decent chunk of Roaches here to defend, but is it going to be enough Roaches? We have 3 Ravagers morphing in, 3 Ravagers, a couple more Roaches. Scarlett trying to get ready. So far, creep is being denied. Double drop into the main. Lings are keeping up, but only Zerglings. And Oliveira can fight. Yeah, Oliveira, he can stand and fight. All these Lings will go down. The Marines overwhelm. Lings fall. Queens are exposed. Does get a Queen. And Scar's falling apart a little bit here. It's falling apart. Queen goes down. Roaches as well. They're going down one at a time. Brutal losses here for Scarlett. At the same time, Oliveira pulls away with the main army, but in the main base is finding more damage. Gets another Queen. Another Queen goes down. Ay, ay, ay. 2 Queens, all those Zerglings, no real economic damage, but still damage nonetheless, still efficient trades, and we're still not done. Oliveira goes back in on the front line, Scarlett being torn apart, Mineral Land is exposed, drone's going to be falling, not many Roaches to defend. As I mentioned before, Oliveira has an abnormal amount of Marines because of how late the 3rd CC is, and how early the 3rd Rax was. And with that, 32 Lings, 3 Queens, 3 drones. I'll be honest though, not too many worker losses. I thought there were going to be more drone kills at the 3rd base. That could have been so much worse. Scarlett does hold. Whew, Scarlett does hold on. Now this is where I'm concerned. It is my perception here that this move that Oliveira just went for was supposed to kill, if not do crippling damage to the economy at least. Because economic damage was not dealt, only 3 drones just went down. It means that Scarlett has a booming economy to work with, and remember, Oliveira, his 3rd base is very late. The 3rd base is incredibly late here for Oliveira, so the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be for Scarlett. Like, these were really good trades from Oliveira, but still not enough. Still not enough. As that's going to be another 4 drone kills in the main base. Nice start. But Oliveira still needs more damage. Scarlett is stabilizing. Stabilizing. Marines, they come in from behind. Scarlett, once again, a little bit out of position. Does respond. Denies the 4th base. Will force a cancel. Oliveira trading with the Roaches. Does get 1. Nah, not even. Yeah, the Roaches do survive. Oh, does actually get into the natural. 3 Overlords. Nice supply block. Supply blocking Scarlett, slowing her down. But again, Oliveira still does not have a third. It is so late. There's a reason why we call this basically a 2-base all-in. I mean, these are nice pickoffs. This is nice damage. This is great, but this is necessary. It's very necessary. As Marines, they do join forces, but we're running out of bio, running out of Marines. And you can see here, Oliveira is running out of army, running out of Marines here back across the map. Scarlett moves in. Oof. Cannot push up the ramp, but Scarlett will outscale. Because we have a third base, soon to be a fourth. I mean, the fourth was delayed and was cancelled. Like, there have been some really nice moves out of Oliveira to slow down Scarlett, but only to slow her down. Like, she's still not stopping. Tanks, they siege up. At this point, I feel like Oliveira just has to turtle up. I do like the drop play. There's potential, of course, but you can see like all the tanks are setting up back at home. Reinforcements as well. Oliveira fully walls off with the towers, knocks him down. Double Liberator towards the main, but we have Ravagers. Once again, denies the fourth. Like, the lack of fourth base for Scarlett, this is taking its toll. It's taking its toll. Drop into the main. Roach Ravager. The biggest weakness of Roach Ravager is how immobile it is. No anti-air. Marines, they drop into the main base. They get a queen. They get a couple of drones. 4 more drones going down. Again, some decent damage. Oh. Do we force another cancel? Uh-oh. Ooh, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Massive pick up at the fourth base. Biles, they do land. They take down a full medevac. Nice catch out of Scarlett. A bit of a back and forth, but Scarlett is now maxed. Scarlett, she's now maxed out. And we'll see, can Oliveira defend the third? He's got a siege line. This is where my Kerbal Shout can come into play. Do we land the fungal? Not quite. Oliveira with the fake out. Those are empty medevacs, by the way. Oliveira trying to force Scarlett back home. Cheeky moves. Ah, she doesn't fall for it. She doesn't fall for it. And in the end, she's still committing. Knocking down those rocks. Medevacs are revealed. Oh, massive fungal. But the medevacs, they survive. They do survive in the end. Oliveira's catching up in supply. Still needs a little bit more time. Nice spread here for Oliveira. Tanks are spread out as well. And it does have a nice spread. Scarlett, we do go for the microbo shrouds. Yeah, lands one shroud. We have a couple of fungals. The biles. Oh my god, massive connections on the right hand side. Oliveira took all the biles to the face at the same time. Is still trading well. But that was a massive loss there for Oliveira. Taking those biles. Now, when it comes to the damage that's being done, because Scarlett's fourth base has been so late, even though Scarlett was maxed. Oh, the infestors gets 3. 1, 2, 3 infestors going down. Heavy losses here for Scarlett. What I was going to say here is that the drone count for Scarlett's very low. Why is it low? Because the fourth base was denied like 4 different times. It's an incredibly late fourth base for Scarlett. So Scarlett did max, that is true, but Scarlett has no bank to remax. There is no remax. And now Oliveira, it's his turn. It's his turn to snowball out of control, catching out of the Ravager, stimming on forward, massive tank shots as well. And Scarlett's in trouble. Again, never got a fourth base, never droned up, never had a bank, cannot remax. Cannot remax, and here comes Oliveira with a massive counterattack. Tanks are moving in, heavy tank count. We do have biles, they graze the army. And the Marines, the bio army stims, and we just snowball out of control. We snowball out of control. Oliveira does stim in, takes down the fourth base once again. For like the 5th time. The fourth base goes down. Oliveira moves in. Liberation has arrived. There's a couple of biles left. Yeah, a couple of biles. Let's take down one of the tanks. Oliveira keeps on pushing forward. We'll take a fungal to the face. There's not really much bile left over here for Oliveira. It's almost purely tank. Yeah, it's almost pure tank. Oh my god, but they just shell away at the army. So many roaches going down. The tank shots are crazy, pappy. GG gets called. And Oliveira will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very intense, very back and forth game 1 here. Back and forth is the way that I would say it. Where initially Oliveira was doing all this damage, but as we were trying to emphasize, he wasn't really doing any critical economic damage. So Scarlett's army was building up a massive amount of Roach Ravager Infestor. But something that we pointed out towards the end, and which was crucial, is that Scarlett never got a fourth. never really got a fourth base up running, never got it saturated. So in a sense, because of the damage that Oliveira was dealing, Scarlett was then being forced, quote-unquote, all in, where Scarlett didn't have the economy to sustain continued production after losing a fight. So it all culminated. Yes, Scarlett did max out, did push across the map, better fight for Oliveira. He had a massive line of siege tanks, took the fight, shelled away at the Roach Ravager, and Scarlett found herself in a position where after losing that fight, couldn't afford a remax, couldn't afford to keep going, couldn't afford any other units because that fourth base had been denied so often. GG. GG well played. Whew, again, a very intense back and forth here. Oliveira does take a lead in the series, but this could have very easily gone either way. Could have gone either way here. Very close, very clutch, very intense. With that, we're getting to game number 2. And we'll see if Scarlett can bounce back. We'll see if Oliveira can extend his lead. Let's go. Let us go. Whew. Hey. So we are getting ready here for our next game. Once again, I don't know what it is, but specifically today, I'm sure you've noticed, but specifically today, whenever they show the vetoes in the map order, they show it for like a couple of seconds, and then they just quickly switch away. Okay, game 2 is going to be at Attorney's Edge. See? they show the maps and then bam, they just pan away. Show us the maps, papi. Ay. I know what it is today, but the production team, they don't want you to see. Shows up for a couple of seconds, then they take it away, papi. Quickly screenshot. I was tempted to screenshot earlier. I was tempted. They're hiding the maps from us. They're hiding them. But here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Attorney's Edge. We have Scarlett, the Canadian Zerg. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Chinese Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Oliveira. Let's go. Whew, let us go. We're jumping to game number 2 here. And again, game 1 was very intense, very back and forth. It all began with the proxy. Sorry, I almost said proxy. It all began with the 2x Reaper. But I would say the 2x Reaper was very specialized for that map. This time, we're going 2x Reaper once again. But this time, there's a bigger risk involved. Okay. So very quickly here, talking and discussing about maps, discussing the opener, discussing the meta as well. 2x Reaper does leave you vulnerable to a couple of things. When you open up 2x Reaper, what does that really do to the Terran production? Well, it means that you open up with a second Rax, it means you go for a slightly delayed CC, delayed expansion, but it also means that your factory is late. And even last game, we saw a third Rax as well before the factory. So it was a very late factory and a very late starport. And that means that specifically the Terran player is vulnerable to Roach all-ins. Not what Scarlett went for last game. Last game, Scarlett went for a standard Roach opener. But if we see something more committed, then the Terran player is more vulnerable because their tanks are so delayed and you're stuck with the bio army early on with limited vision and limited scouting because you have no Hellions either, right? You have no Hellions, so limited scouting. For now, a hatch pool opener, late gas from Scarlett. I bring this up specifically on Attorney's Edge, more so than the last map, because the last map, Roach all-ins are weaker. Why are they weaker? Because of the ramp. Remember, last game there was a ramp coming into the natural. This game, there is no ramp. So specifically on this map, going 2x Reaper is riskier because if Scarlett reacts and responds with something more aggressive, then the low ground production at the natural base for Oliveira is more exposed. So that's something that we might consider here. And especially with Scarlett going for a faster pool and a later gas geyser, I'm curious to see if she does go for a faster Roach war in this game. We'll see. We'll see if we go into faster Roaches or not. The Overlord will scout the low ground setup. So Scarlett now knows the 2x Reaper is happening again, now knows that this map is a little bit more abusable, and we'll see if she tries to punish this or not. We shall see. Likewise, we'll see how Oliveira adjusts. Remember, last game Oliveira went for a third Rax before factory. This time, do we risk it again? Do we go 3cc 2-on-1? Do we go 2-on-1? Do we go 3-1-1 instead? Like, we'll keep an eye on Oliveira's follow-up. For now, the Reapers are coming. Link speed is being researched, so Scarlett's not rushing into a Roach Warren, and I believe Scarlett pulls out. Okay. You can see on the income there, Scarlett did pull out a gas, so we're not rushing into a Bane bust or a Roach all-in. Looks like standard opener out of Scarlett. As we get the zoom in. Yeah, we do get the POV here of Oliveira. Poking forward. Once again, we're expecting only 3 Reapers. As we mentioned last game, 3 Reapers is the standard go-to to just apply pressure and deny the third, and again, force out Zerglings. And now we can start the add-ons. Is that a third Rax in the main again? Unfortunately, I can't quite tell. No, okay, it's a factory. Okay. So this time, this is a more reserved build. I say reserved, it's less aggressive, less intense, because there are going to be less Marines. It's going to be a faster factory, a faster transition into medevac into a 2-1-1. This does mean that it's going to hit faster because the medevacs are going to arrive earlier, but there are going to be less Marines. So there's a bit of a trade-off, a bit of a give and take here. Less Marines, but earlier medevacs, earlier drop play. So straight up 2-on-1 out of Oliveira. Once again, the pressure is going to be on Oliveira to find damage because Oliveira, with this build, is delaying his third. So he's going to have a late third expansion. We saw a late third last game as well. So he needs to make sure that it's worth his while and he can deal damage. Catching out roaches, queens, lings, drones. Last game, he did do enough damage to make it worth it, but it took a lot of work. Like it was not easy for Oliveira to deny all those bases for as long as he did, to kill drones here and there, to catch queens. It was an intense game. However, he put in the work, Pap. He put in the work. And behind this, you can see third TC. So it's going to be a 2-on-1 into a third TC. This is a much faster third base into last game. And oh, we're pulling a bit of a Maru here. Okay. So what do I mean by that? If you remember, Maru and Beyond, they popularized this build like 2 years ago. It was back when Beyond was popularizing the 2x Reaper, and this is one of the variations. It is common to go 2x Reaper into Stim into a 2-1-1. What is a 2-1-1? 2-1-1 is when you go for a tech lab of reactor on your racks, you rush into Stim, you go into bioproduction, and you go for a 16 Marine double medevac drop. And that's just standard. But Maru and Beyond, 2 years ago, they started mixing this build in, which is where you skip the medevacs and you go straight into a Banshee instead. Technically, this is inefficient. Technically. Compared to a regular 1-1-1, the Banshee is going to be later than normal, but it's going to be unexpected because in a standard game, like as the Zerg player, you're thinking like, okay, if my opponent's going to be efficient, we should be expecting medevacs, and typically Zerg players will not get spores in time against a 2-1-1 opener, not against a Banshee. So because this is technically inefficient from the Terran player, it's unexpected, and because it's unexpected, it can do damage. It's a cheeky build here by Oliveira. Yep, the Banshee moves in, and as you can see, there's no spore, right? There's no spore because of the initial build and the initial opener. There shouldn't be a spore, like when you think about it, like kind of logically, or like when it comes to what's efficient. So kills a drone, nothing crazy, but you can see here we're forcing out all these spore crawlers. There was no cloak being researched. It was only one Banshee as well, and the Banshee survives. So Oliveira does force a reaction, gets a worker kill, then moves in with the 2-1-1. Gonna be a little bit later instead, as the medics were more delayed. This is more delayed. It does drop, does catch an Overlord. So nice pickup here so far. Meanwhile, there was so much to talk about, but winding it back here, Scarlett did go roaches, but did not rush into an all-in. Just going for a standard roach base opener. This is very similar to last game. Very, very similar response from Scarlett to game number 1. Ooh, the medevacs, they do unload within the main. Scarlett is aware of this and is getting in position. These Marines, they shouldn't really get much done here outside of trading with Lings. And Scarlett this time is getting her 4th base. Ooh, is going to be picked away up by the Banshee, and we're rushing into the infestation pit. Nice auto stepping here by Oliveira. Trades well against the Zerglings. Meanwhile, the hatchery does get a little bit low, but will survive. As Banshee does pull away. Nice snipe on the tumor. And now Oliveira knows his next target, the 4th. Deny that 4th expansion, slow down the growth of the Zerg player. So we can see Oliveira starting to move out. Behind this, going for a very fast 2nd factory. Interesting. So what does that entail? So this 2nd factory is very abnormal. To go for a fast 2nd factory like this means we're going to a very heavy tank style. Very, very heavy tank style. Which is not what we expect in ZVT. Not before 3-base saturation. Meanwhile, Marines, they do stim in. Catching out the spore. Marines, they do attempt to catch a queen here on the right-hand side. They catch a couple of active tumors, not bad. Queen gets low, gets 1. Barely not. Queen does survive. Oliveira pulls away. And Scarlett is getting away with her tech. Ooh, this screams Ultra Rush. So again, Scarlett got a fast infestation bit, got her 4th base up and running, unimpeded, uncontested. Now we're rushing into the Hive, into +1 melee. It's very common for Zerg players to open up Roach. Into what? Into Ultras. Like Ultras, that's the end game. That's the ideal here for Scarlett. All roads lead to Ultras, and they're coming. And that's going to be a big power spike for the Zerg. Right now it's on Scarlett to defend, to survive, to maintain the 4th base, and to get into Ultras. Nice fungal. Banshee, oh, does go down. Banshee finally goes down. Marines, they stem in. They will catch a queen. Oh, I spoke too soon. Yeah, he goes instead for the middle line. Gets an Overlord. Gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, 5 drones. Queen does survive. And again, this is okay damage from Oliveira, but hey, we spoke about this earlier. We spoke about how this screams Ultras. You can see in the production tab, Ultras are on the way. There's that Ultra Cavern. Now, the reason why we say this is a big power spike, because Scarlett is rushing into Ultras in such a way, Oliveira won't have Ghosts. Ghosts will not be available here, so Oliveira's going to have to work with purely Marauders, tanks, and then eventually Liberators, and then eventually Ghosts. But there's going to be a big window in time here, pre-Ghost, that Scarlett can dominate. And there's the Observer pointing out the Ultra Cavern. I will say as well, in terms of Ghosts, is that Ghosts in the new patch, I would say, are now weaker against Ultras. They're stronger against Broodlords, if that makes sense. So what's different about the Ghosts here? The Ghost, the snipe can no longer be interrupted, which is pretty huge. It means that Fungals no longer interrupt snipes. Oh, there's a Moopy dancing there. I didn't realize it's dancing on the pillar, on the pole. Oh no. But snipes, like, they no longer get interrupted by Fungals, so because of that, especially against Broodlord Infestor, Ghosts are stronger than they once were. Like, they're quite strong against Broodlord Infestor. But against Ultras, the dynamic is different, because Ultras are accompanied by Ling Bane, and the Ghosts are now more vulnerable to Ling Bane. It's a little bit different with Broodlord Infestor, because there's less Ling Bane support on the ground, so Ghosts have less to be wary of. But there's some... The dynamic has changed, I should say, when it comes to the Ghosts later on in the game, if we can get there. For now, Oliveira does him in, setting up his 7 tanks. Oh my god, 1 tank does go down. Yeah, a little bit of overextension. Tank does overextend. Blinding Cloud's going to be covering 3 tanks, but not everything. Ooh, and the tanks survive. Wow, the tanks do survive. We had some nice Blinding Clouds, but Scarlett could not break through. And we spoke about it earlier, how there was going to be a big power spike when the Ultras hit the field. This is pre-Ultra. This is pre-Ultra. The Ultras aren't ready yet. And before the Ultras come out, Oliveira is here. Very strong timing from Oliveira, hitting pre-Ultra, breaks down the 4th base. Ay, ay, ay. Ultras are just now popping up, but we're not done yet. We don't have Kindness Plating. Kindness Plating, +2, just now finishing. The Ultras aren't ready. And Lings, they slip in. Catching out one of the tanks. Nice pickoff. Tank goes down. Distracting Oliveira. But that was a very successful push. Very, very successful. Oh, we have the token Swarm Hose in production. The token Swarm Hose. And we were fixating a lot on the window of time, on the window of time where Scarlett would have Ultras pre-Ghost. But what we should have also brought up is that there's a window in time here where Oliveira can kill Scarlett pre-Ultra. which is what's happening here. That's the risk you take when you rush Ultra, is that you do leave yourself vulnerable for a period of time. As Ultras are now being squeezed out. I think we're up to like 2 or 3 Ultras. Blinding Cloud comes in, covering 4 tanks. Nicely done. Microbo shot as well. But there's still another tank line behind this. Oh my god. There are so many tanks. And do you remember what we said earlier? What was weird about Oliveira's build? He got a fast second factory. We brought it up. He got a fast second factory, and that means extra tank production, which is not normal. And that led into this. This is why he has so many more tanks, more than usual. So a heavy tank count leading into these very, very strong tank pushes. Remember, he got his second factory before the 3rd base was saturated, before he had his extra gases. So very fast 2 tank production. And with that, Oliveira takes down the base, pulls away, rotates. We have some borrowed Lings here, which might find some damage. But Scarlett is hurting in regards to her own economy, knocking down base after base. Now, what is important, though, about what's happening is that Scarlett has been slowly accumulating those Ultras. How many do we have? Show us the main army, Pappy. What do we have? As we do have to take stock. Scarlett attempts to take the gold. Oliveira will rotate, will deny. Gold base is cancelled. Kindness plating is done, so when the next fight occurs, now we have better upgrades for the Ultralisks. Bear that in mind. And how many do we have? 3? I can see 3, maybe 4. That is quite a lot. Vipers are coming in. Here come the blinding clouds. This time the tank count is low. Only 5. Yeah, the tanks, they completely shut down here. Better engage for Scarlett. The tank count goes down. The Ultras overwhelm. And again, now Scarlett can show off the Ultra, right? Now she can show off these Ultras. They break through the main army, resets the tank counts. Unlike previously, Oliveira, he only had, what, 4 to 5 tanks, so a much lower tank count, could not maintain that position. And Oliveira's running out of steam. Running out of steam here. It takes a long time to rebuild that army. And Scarlett is remaxed. And we have 3 more Ultras on the way. What's that, 6 Ultras? She lost some earlier, to be fair. But we have more Ultras coming. And Oliveira is losing momentum. This move out, for example, it's risky. Yes, the gold base is going to be denied, but we're going to be losing 2 tanks potentially. Oh, we can knock down these towers? Okay. Okay. Yeah, blinding clouds, they come in. Catching out 1, catching out 2, catching out 3 tanks. Oof. And you can see Oliveira just cannot build up his tank count anymore. Just bleeding out far too much. Banelings, they roll in, they hit the planetary. But the Ultras have arrived, they lead the charge. The planetary is going to go down. There's my Microbial Shroud. Yeah, Microbial Shroud keeps the Ultralisk alive a little bit longer here. The planetary falls. And we do see Oliveira takes down one of the bases, but he will lose 26 SCVs. 26 workers go down. Heavy losses there for Oliveira, losing far too much. 26 SCVs and his tank count and the 4th expansion. And Scarlett has done it. Again, we had a really impressive push earlier from Oliveira when he was knocking down bases. But remember, Oliveira was only knocking down bases. He wasn't pushing further in. He wasn't going for the kill. And Scarlett made it to her Ultra Tech. She made it. And not just that, of course, but retain the spellcasters, the infestors, the vipers. And again, Oliveira, he just ran out of steam every time. Does kill the hatchery. Again, these are nice pickoffs. Kills the base. It's good. Not good enough. Scarlett has, again, is gaining map control. May be losing some fringe bases, but it's fine. Scarlett can afford it. Unlike the last game, Scarlett is on 78 workers, so she has a solid economy. Here we go, we have our spellcasters, we have our ultras. It's all coming together. Oliveira going for the counter drop. Scarlett moves in. Here come the blinding clouds. Covers 1, 2, 3 tanks. Ultras, they close the distance. They get on top of the tanks. There's just not enough support, not enough buffer here, and with that, Scarlett will overwhelm. There's a Microbial Shroud, and GG gets called. GG gets called, and Scarlett will type the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Once again, a very intense back and forth here between Oliveira and Scarlett. And I really liked Oliveira's build overall. Like the idea of going, I mean, if you remember, it went for the 2x Reaper into a 2-on-1, into Banshee before Medevac, into a very early second factory, into early tank production. And I was concerned that Scarlett was going to get away with rushing into Hive Tech and rushing into Ultras. But Oliveira almost seemed like he was ready for that kind of scenario. And he pushed out just before the Ultras were ready. And remember, Oliveira, he killed 2 bases. He killed the southern 4th base, then he rotated over towards the northern 4th base as well. And that was cool, that was impressive, but that's all that Oliveira got, right? He just knocked down the fringe bases and then he couldn't keep pushing. I was bleeding out some tanks in the process, of course, and because Oliveira backed off, Scarlett got away with kindness plating, with +3 carapace, with +2 melee, preserved the drones, right? The drone count was for the most part still in a very comfortable and very healthy position. And she was able to get into her Hive Tech and then snowball out of control. It almost felt like Oliveira's build here had a bit of an expiration date, if you will, where it had like a big power spike himself, and then it petered out. Then it petered out just because he couldn't sustain losing all those tanks. Once they started going down, they were not being replaced anywhere near as fast enough. GG. GG, well played. With that, we have a tied up 1-1 series here, and we'll see who takes the lead in said series. Let's go. I should also give credit, of course, and give praise to Scarlett. So Scarlett was also very tenacious. Despite losing bases, she was always pulling away her workers, preserving her drones to make sure that even though bases were going down, once they got retaken, she could always go back into saturation, and likewise did not falter when it comes to teching, right? Still had Kindness Plating on the way, Hive on the way, Ultras on the way, Vipers on the way as well. Like, she always had her eye on the ball, if you will, like ready for that kind of like big moment, that big breakout moment with that Hive Tech army. Despite things, you know, catching fire and going awry, still was able to steer the ship, if you will. But let's go. Let us go. We're getting into game number 3, and we'll see who claims the lead in the series. Let's go. As spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the Canadian Zerg player representing Shopify. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have her opponents. We have the Chinese Terran player, the Red Terran. It is Oliveira. Let's go. Let us go. We're getting into Fear and Faith. This is one of the most vetoed maps of the map pool. Crazy. Welcome to Fear and Faith. Fear and Faith is a 4-player spawn map. You can spawn in top left, top right, bottom right, and bottom left. 4 possible spawn locations, and they can be anywhere. To help when it comes to scouting and to help when it comes to a 4-player spawn map, this map does feature a monorail system. I'm sure our players are going to make use of them. But basically, we have these this tubing system that connects all 4 corners of the map. But what's important is that these tubes, or this monorail system, the subway system, depending on how you want to phrase it, can only be entered by workers. Only workers can fit inside, so you can't like ling flood, you know, through the tubes and go across the map or anything like that. Only workers can fit in, so it's an easier way to scout your opponent's spawn location. That's to try to minimize some of the RNG factors that can influence a 4-player spawn map. For now, though, CC first. Oliveira throws caution to the wind. Oliveira's like, you're not going to cheese me. You're not going to 10 pull me or go gas first against me or anything crazy like that. I'm going to take the risk. So CC first out of Oliveira. A very greedy build, should not be punished. Based on the openers, based on the builds, Scarlett cannot punish this. So Oliveira will be able to get away with the greed. Scarlett pokes in with the Overlord, and Scarlett does find Oliveira immediately with the first Overlord, so very fortunate for Scarlett, and we have found ourselves in close by ground spawn locations. Close by air and by ground. Just close spawns in general. If we had diagonal spawns, that often leads into longer games, but now because we have close spawns, we can lead into something more aggressive. But remember that currently Oliveira has not found Scarlett, so Oliveira doesn't really know what's going on or where Scarlett is yet. As Oliveira did skip his SCV scout as well. True. So no SCV scout out of Oliveira. Oh! And this is what I wanted out of Scarlett last game, if you remember. That's a Roach all-in. We've been seeing Roaches every game so far in this series. That is true. But this is not like the others. This is a much earlier Roach Warren. There is no Ling speed either. So we're skipping Ling speed, rushing for the Roach Warren. It is going to be for an early Roach rush from Scarlett. And remember, Oliveira went CC first, and he also went Marine afterwards, and he did not scout across the map, and he's going for a third CC before Starport, which means a late Starport, which means a late Banshee as well. Oliveira is being so greedy this game with zero information. Here come the Roaches. Oh no. 6 Roaches are on the way. We're rallying across the map, and this can do devastating damage. What is it going to be to defend? Vanilla Marines? No bunker? Maybe some Hellions? What's that going to do against Roaches? No. And a big part of this is because Scarlett scouted, right? Because she saw the CC first, Scarlett, she came up with a plan to punish that CC. I thought that Oliveira was going to get away with it. But again, Oliveira didn't scout. No Reaper scout, no SCV scout, no nothing. No nothing. Here come the Roaches. Here come the Roaches. They're welling across the map. Now, Scarlett is droning up behind this, so Scarlett is not all in. But honestly, this will deal, this can deal devastating damage. And here comes the Roach Ravager. Pushing into the mineral line. We're here to punish. Oliveira has to get the hell out of here, does evacuate, and SCVs are going to be going down. Getting one, getting two SCVs already. Ooh, does wall up in time. We have Widowmines on the way, but the wall is going to fall. Yeah, the wall is going to fall. We have the boys are being pulled to repair, which means SCVs can now be focused down. Ooh, breaks through the depot. Yeah, the depot is full. Oh god, that's a kill, not a cancel as well on the eBay. And the Roaches, they bust into the main base. The more boys are being pulled. This is already becoming, this is already getting out of hand. It's already getting out of hand. Critical damage is being dealt. And again, Scarlett, she's here to punish. Oh my god. 13 SCV kills. 13 SCVs. Widowmine does borrow. We have the Widowmine. And these Roaches are going to be cleaned up, but this is still so much damage. Oh my god, biles down the Widowmine as well. Does bile down. Oh, as the Ravager takes down the remaining Marauder, the Marine, the Hellion, the everything. Oh, the Widowmine, the one Ravager. the Ravager's crazy. Ah, she's crazy, pappy. Oh my god. Biles a bit of a Hellion goes down as well. So much damage being done here to the initial push. From the initial push. Ravager finally falls, but that is critical damage. Look at the worker count here. 50 drones. Look at the value. It was 3 Roaches, 3 Ravagers for 16 SCVs, 2 Hellions, 2 Widowmines, Marauders, Marines, Depot, Reactor, eBay as well. Scarlett is miles ahead. Yeah. The money Ravager. And again, a lot of this came down to 2 things. I mean, there's multiple factors at play here. 1, the Overlord Scout. 2, close by ground. Remember, we emphasized that at the beginning, that that both players did spawn in close locations, so that helps benefit aggressive builds. And then, of course, Scarlett was able to react. And also, Oliveira didn't SCV Scout and didn't Reaper Scout. So, lack of vision, lack of scouting from one side, the RNG factor of close spawns, and of course, Scarlett being able to recognize the greedy build and punish said greedy build as well. And it all just aligned up. It all just aligned here in favor of Scarlett. And now we can go into double Evo chambers into 1-1 upgrades. Lair is now on the way. Scarlett is joining up the 3rd base, 4th base on the horizon for Scarlett as well. Scarlett will get supply block for a moment here, and Oliveira does find some damage, but there's so much pressure on Oliveira to find more. We need more damage. Overlords, creep, drones, cancel the 4th. There's a lot to do. We gotta work. We gotta get to work, pappy. Oh. Yeah, as Marines, they do stem in. They do catch a queen. Pick up a couple of queens, but the Roaches do keep up. They do keep up. From here, we have 10 more Roaches on the way. And Scarlett may just cut workers at 3 base saturation. Right now, we have 6 workers. That is 3 base saturation. We're not joining up the 4th base. Scarlett is just going for one massive 3 base push. Looking to end the game. If Scarlett wanted to, she could join up the 4th base and start to tech, but there's no need. To be honest, there's no need after all the damage that was dealt earlier. No need. As you can see, the Roaches amassing. Again, Scarlett has not made a drone in quite some time. Oof. As the tanks are trapped. Some rough SimCity in the main. Rough SimCity. Oof. As from here, we're rallying. And if Oliveira can force a fight within range of all 3 tanks, then maybe we can try to pull this off. Speaking of tank shots, they do connect here with the Roach Ravager. Nice tank volleys. 3 more Raxes on the way. I believe we're getting up to 5 Raxes. I don't think that's 8 necessarily. Tanks, they move down to the low ground. Yeah, they're going to be exposing themselves. And even though Oliveira can defend the area outside of the natural, the 3rd base is much more exposed. Now we can see Scarlett does start to drone, recognizing that she might not be able to break through, so drones are now on the way. Infestation bit as well. Roaches, they poke in. Scarlett does pile down one of the tanks. Gets one. Yeah, 1 tank goes down. There's 1 tank left on low ground. But Oliveira's defending well. defending well. We see Scarlett try to rotate from the top side, but yeah, at this point, Scarlett has recognized she cannot kill. She cannot kill Oliveira. Not like this. So she's droning, saturating, Baliness is on the way, working towards Lingbane Roach Ravager, and then eventually towards Hive Tech towards Ultras. So just like last game, it's kind of the same end goal here, is Ultra Tech. So we're taking up in Ultras. As a result, Oliveira can try to stabilize on 3 bases and build up a semblance of an army. We do see more Roaches coming in from behind though. It comes in from behind, tanks are out of position. They're further back. Scarlett gets into the mineral line. Oh, SCV is going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, rough moment here for Oliveira as he has to pull the boys. Losing 10, 12 SCVs, 13. Ay, ay, ay. Again, not like this. 14 SCVs going down. The piles, they land on the Bio army. Yeah, SimCity working against Oliveira there as he tried to get away. And again, Scarlett is content to just trade like this. To pick off the mineral line, pick off the Marines, back at home. Hive is now done, which means we can start the Ultra Cavern. Get ready for that end game. Vipers are on the way. Link speed has begun to make that transition out of Roach Ravager. Oh, nice catch here from Oliveira. Very nice catch, catching all the Roaches and Ravagers. Okay. Does catch out the army. Very efficient fight here for Oliveira. Very efficient. Ooh, and even forces 19 Roaches out of Scarlett. Oh, at this point, we want to be done with Roach production, so that was a big reaction from Scarlett. Yeah, big reaction. Which means for now we're going to be sticking with Lingbane Roach Ravager as a composition. Yeah, we're just pointing out the Link speed is still on the way. Oliveira does push. We only have 2 Ravagers. Uh-oh. The Ravager count is not there. Yeah, we're lacking Ravagers. This base is going to go down. At the same time, Oliveira does drop on the south side, denying mining. But Scarlett has Vipers, and we're waiting for Blinding Clouds. We're waiting for the Clouds. Scarlett sitting up for the surround. We're coming in from behind. There's a Mass on Siege. Yeah, there's a Mass on Siege. Scarlett does commit. Tanks on the full. Show says Blinding Clouds, and they connect. Yeah, they connect with the tanks. Massive surround here. Oliveira will lose everything. The entire army gets swallowed up. Every tank falls. And again, that was the one push that Oliveira had. Unfortunately, the tech was just too high for Scarlett with the Viper tech, with Vipers, with the Hive. There's that Ultra Cavern now on the way after the fight. So it's on the horizon. Again, trying to break a turtling 3 basing Terran is still quite difficult, and Scarlett's going to just focus on building up and maxing out. Scan, ensuring that there's no southern bases. Here with tanks on siege, I wouldn't matter if Scarlett hit with them siege, because remember we had Vipers, like that's the purpose of them. Scarlett had the setup with the Vipers anyway. And from here, Scarlett can start to incorporate some Ultras. Ultra Cavern is now done. Kind of splitting has begun as well. And once again, the best that Oliveira can hope for is to try to turtle up and mass up once again. As we commit, here come more Blinding Clouds. Yeah, covering 1, 2 more tanks. Bailey's Day, not the most efficient trades here, connecting with tanks more than anything. So a little bit messy here by Scarlett. Likewise, the Vipers go down to the Vikings. Okay. Snipes all the Vipers. Viper count is reset. Scarlett pulls away. I mentioned earlier that Scarlett was forced to make 20 Roaches, and because of that, the Roaches are kind of dead supply here. Scarlett needs to get rid of them to make room for something more efficient. Just has to refine the army. As Oliveira's claiming a fourth. Claiming his fourth base. Lings, they just attempt to harass. They will find a mineral line, not bad. Find more SCVs. Again, Oliveira doesn't have the supply to defend both locations at once. Oof. Once again, more tanks go down. Not the most efficient fight here from Scarlett, but takes down the tanks. Takes down 25 SCVs without letting run by. That's where the damage was really dealt. Crippling the economy even further. And Oliveira just with a desperation move out here. Might kill a hatchery, I guess. Yeah, snipes the hatchery. Kills the base, pulls away. He's doing what he can, Pappy. Again, it's one of those things where, hey, if you had a tournament with fantasy, like you gotta pay homage to your boy, Pappy. You gotta gotta pay tribute to fantasy, who's there at the event. True. As with our bio connects, we just pick off more Marines. Just catching out more Marines, more bio. Ultras have finally hit the field. We have our Ultras. These Liberators have been quite annoying just because there's no anti-air. So very annoying Liberators. Anti-air is quite limited. Ultras, they finally hit the field. They have kindness plating. And now we can break through. Now we can finally push on through the main army. Yeah, Biles in the middle line. More SCVs go down. Planetary will fall. And with that, Scarlett will take a lead in the series. Okay, we were tied up earlier, and the final ultra goes down in the main. No. GG gets called, and with that, Scarlett does take that 2-1 lead. GG. GG, well played. Winding it back here once again. I mean, it was critical damage earlier, so winding it back. If you remember, Oliveira went for a very greedy build. Went for a very greedy build here on Fear and Faith. Went CC first, no SCV scout, and no Reaper scout either. Scarlett scouted, and because of the spawn locations, did go for the early Roach Rush, and with that was able to punish the greed. Punish the greed of Oliveira, was able to cripple the economy and deal crippling damage. The game did continue from there, and Oliveira successfully defended on 3 bases, but at no point was Scarlett in any real danger. At no point was Scarlett ever really threatened on 3, 4, 5 bases. Yes, there was some drop play. Yes, some workers were going down and some bases were going down, but for the most part, Scarlett had a very comfortable game after the successful Roach push. GG, well played. With that, Scarlett does take a 2-1 lead in the series, and we'll see if we have any other 4-player small maps here in this series. I didn't quite see the vetoes earlier and the map order, but curious to see how the game or how the map does unfold. Once again, I will say that this game was pretty decided by like the openers themselves, by the openers and by the early game more than anything. So we didn't really get to sink our teeth into this DVT, as it was a little bit more one-sided due to the early game damage. So it was very comfortable from Scarlett, very comfortable. Let's go. Let us go. As from here, we are going to be getting ready. Hold on, I'm going to check the Wikipedia page. Un momento. Do we have the map order on Wikipedia? The editors, we do. Okay, so the next game is going to be on Washout, followed by Rorschach. Rorschach made it through the vetoes. Okay. Followed by Rorschach, Sanctuary 3, and Blackrock. Okay. Looks like we have vetoed Old Sun Temple and Rainfall. So we vetoed some of the more extreme maps, but we only had 1 veto each for a best of 7. Only 1 veto each. As it looks like our players may have asked for a break, which is understandable, right? It's a best of 7 grand finals, long series, so our players may have asked for a small break here as we get ready for our next game. Okay. So can someone explain to me why TY and Oliveira are playing again? Is this some sort of show match? Exclamation mark be in the chat to have a look at the Wikipedia page yourself, but this tournament is featuring a bunch of old legends from StarCraft. So Innovation, TY, Deer, Trap, Impact, Sue, Oliveira, and many others. They all came back for this tournament to play the new patch as well, to play in this tournament. It's been a blast. It's been 4 days. This is day 4 of the tournament. It's been an intense week of StarCraft. If you missed it, I recommend the VODs. Do recommend the VODs, as we've had a lot of fun games. But for now, again, we'll see you guys after the break. See you after the break. Check out the page. Check out the VODs. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. We are getting into our grand finals. We've returned here. We just had a brief break here as we are mid-series in this best of 7, getting ready for game number 4. Currently, Scarlett is up 2-1 in this series, and we'll see if Oliveira can bounce back. We'll see if Scarlett can extend her lead, as we did have a very intense game 3 here. Again, game 3 was a little bit more decided by, as we mentioned, the early game aggression from Scarlett and the hyper greed and lack of scouting from Oliveira. But again, that was very unique to the map itself, very unique to the map, very unique to that current situation. So we're hoping to be able to sink our teeth into the mid game coming into game number 5 onwards, or game number 4 onwards. We'll see. We shall see. Once again, they only briefly, I don't know if you noticed, they only briefly showed us the vetoes there once again for a couple of seconds. But the next game should be on Washout. Yes, it's going to be a washout followed by Rorschach. Now, once again, remember that for this best of 7, it is first to 4. First to 4 will claim the series. So we need 2 more for Scarlett, 3 more for Oliveira. Vamonos, baby, vamonos. No. But again, did notice a lot of people that were asking about the event. As we mentioned before, like, there's a big offline event happening over in China, a big Legends event bringing everyone back together here from years gone by. So it's been a nostalgia fest. The series even began with us reminiscing about the Team Unity team house in Korea, back when Cloudy and Time at the time were, of course, in Korea, staying with Scarlett and with No Regrets and with some of the other foreign players over in Korea, competing in GSL at the time, and the qualifiers, streaming and having their vlogs as well. It was a big part of SC2 history, for sure. Big part of modern SC2 history. Oh, but here we go. We have our players. As we are going to be jumping in, looks like our players are back from their break. And we are loading into game number 4. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Washout, we have the red Zerg player. The red Zerg player herself from the land of Canada. It is Scarlett. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we do have the red Terran. It is Oliveira. Let's go. Let us go. We are jumping into our 4th game. We're jumping into game 4 here, and we'll see how our players will adjust. So far, we've seen a lot of 2max Reaper out of Oliveira and some CEC first, but this time we have the high ground setup instead. Standard opener out of Oliveira, no 2max Reaper shenanigans, and no CC first shenanigans either, I would imagine. Welcome to Washout. Washout does have some unique features here, of course. We did take note earlier in the Innovation versus Scarlett series that there are certain kind of avenues of attack here that have limited ways to engage or flank the army, and we saw Innovation with great success pull off an ARAX. He was able to 3-base ARAX all in Scarlett in their previous series earlier in the tournament, and I'm curious if Oliveira was watching. Was he watching? Was he taking notes? And are we tempted to maybe go in that direction, or do we take a different approach instead? In general, like, ARAXs nowadays are not really as viable as they once were, but that is also a lot. That is also very map dependent, but also patch dependent as well. Referring to the Bailing buff from last year, which did more or less almost kill ARAXs. We still see it every now and then, but it's quite rare. We'll see what Oliveira feels like going for. For now, hatch, pool, gas, later gas geyser, earlier pool to make sure that the queens and links come out in time. Meanwhile, Oliveira might not be going CC first, but that is not a Reaper. It is going Marine first, and I believe no SCV scout. So once again, greed from Oliveira. Not as greedy as last game, but greed nonetheless, as he's foregoing scouting. Oh wait, okay, it's Marine first, later Reaper. Okay, you have my attention. Yeah, the Overlord is going to be hunted down. I believe we'll still get to the pillar in time. Yeah, it does get away, it does get to the pillar. but now Scarlett will have limited information. So here we go. Oh my god, Jesus. See, Overlord actually went out to check for the expansion first before going back in. A very risky maneuver, but Scarlett does manage to pull away to the pillar. Likewise, our Reapers have arrived. Still staying back at home, still does not move out across the map. And the racks even float over. Oliveira really wants to night vision here. Okay, the Overlord is hunted down, and I'm curious, what are we hiding exactly? With this, Scarlett will have very limited information moving forward into the mid game. And are we going for a 2-on-1, 3cc 2-on-1, 3-1-1 setup? So far, racks in a factory. No shot we go like for a second factory, right? Like no shot. I think we can say with certainty, though, that Scarlett most likely is going to go for a Roach one to play safe. We've seen a lot of Roach play so far. I mean, every game, Scarlett has gone Roaches in some way, shape, or form. Oh, and there it is. Behind this, it is going to be a 1-1-1. We have a Starport before the CC, but that's also a second Rax as well, also before the CC. This is very committed. This is very committed, very aggressive play here from Oliveira, and we'll see how far this goes. Go. As Reaper does poke in, again, second Rax is finishing, fast tech lab and a fast stim. Oh, and we are still going into Cloak Banshee, by the way. Okay, this is wild. So we're going into Cloak Banshee. As you can see here, the Raxes are hidden. Again, this is for the 2-base all-in. Like, very, very committed play here by Oliveira. It's going to be difficult to scout. But there's layers to this, and I'm curious to see how it all is pieced together. Especially considering that this isn't a small map, right? Like, I would like to see this on Rainfall or on Rorschach. We'll see if Oliveira can get away with this on Washout. We'll see. As again, the Banshees are going to be unscouted. Scarlett being active with her Lings. Ideally, Scarlett will see this Banshee with said Zerglings. We'll see if she can. Gee, that's a lot of Lings on the way, though. Oh my god. Yeah, 16 more Lings in production. There is a hole in the wall here, but Scarlett pokes in, sees the Bio Army, and drones. So late droning here by Scarlett. These are so many Zerglings, and she has to make use of this in some way, shape, or form. There's finally the third CC on the way, but very late. They're basically going to be at 5 minutes. Ooh, the Banshee's deflected. Cloak is activated. No Spore yet, and we'll get one drone. One drone goes down, maybe two? Just the one. Just the one drone. Spore will finish in time. Banshee rotates to the main base. Spore's in position, and the Banshee has dealt no real damage. Just one drone. Scarlett does go for the lair. Again, a much later lair here from... I mean, it's still there first, but after all these Zerglings, Oliveira does trade well. Oh, decent surround there by Scarlett. Yeah, tries his round, trading as efficiently as possible, surrounds the Bio Army. Very nice trades, punishing Oliveira. Oof, and remember, Oliveira was trying to build up a big Bio force early on, and the Lings even get into the main base. They get a full scout. They get a full scout as well. Yeah, rough start for Oliveira, rough start. Again, if he wasn't surrounded, then he could hit a really strong stim timing. But we'll lose so many Marines early on here. Got caught with his pants down. And now Oliveira falls behind. Does fall behind here. What's brutal about this start is that Oliveira lost all of his bio that he wanted to be aggressive with, but on top of that, he went for a late third base in favor of this. So now he's stuck with a late economy and is stuck with no army. So from here, Scarlett can look very comfortable. Scarlett can just drone, saturate, build up her economy, catching up the Banshee. Oliveira moves out. And this should be a full 2 medevacs. This is supposed to be 16 Marines. We're down to 6. Yeah, only 6 Marines left. The issue is that builds like this, they need to be crisp. Like you have to hit your timings. You have to be able to execute well. If you're unable to, it all just falls apart. Jeez. 6 more Raxes on the way. Double armory? Wait, what? Oh, we're smurging. We're smurging, papi. Going double armory. Lings, they do flood into the natural. Marines out of position. SCV is going to be going down and denying mining time as well. True. Denies mining. And this is just a very chaotic game state here for Oliveira. Lings are going to be from behind. 6 SCV kills. Third base is going to be delayed. And Scarlett can now take up. Infestation bit, Hive Tech. Hive Tech, we're leaning towards Ultras once again. We could just go straight Ling Bane Ultra. No need for Roach Tech, of course. Now, based on the rack setup that we have here, it's looking like a 3-base all-in. We spoke at the beginning of this game, actually, the potential for an 8 racks, and that's kind of what we're getting into. Unfortunately, we're stumbling our way into the 8 racks, so it's going to hit it's not going to hit very hard. But I mean, what else can Oliveira do in this position? As he's forced into the all-in. Scarlett keeping up with the drop play at the same time, does go for the counterattack. Ooh, takes down 6 SCVs. Some rough losses there by Oliveira. Yeah, some rough losses here, and it's and it's going to take a lot to recover in this kind of position, just because Scarlett has an untouched economy. 85 drones now, 85 workers, peak economy for Scarlett. From here, now we can fixate on purely army production. We spoke about the Hive earlier. Hive is now on the way. Infestor production has now begun for Fungals, for Microbial Shrouds. Scarlett now just refining her army, refining her composition, and soon to max out. And Scarlett doesn't need to push into the 3rd. There's no pressure. Scarlett can just wait, defend, and then knock down the 4th base when that's taken, if that's taken. So again, just like a very comfortable mid-game here from Scarlett. Oliveira moving on towards the left-hand side. He does have a couple of Widow Mines with said army. And maybe, like, with the best mine shots, we can maybe take a better fight here, but it's just the, what, 2 Widow Mines? Oh, God. There's not much there. Scarlett coming from behind. Yeah, it does come in for the flank. Collapsing the army. No Fungals needed. Bio army gets shut down. And Scarlett can now commit. Can commit across the map. Here come Adrenal. Now we can throw down tech. There's the Ultra Cabin that we mentioned earlier. Ultra's on the horizon. Oof, we'll take a massive mine shot to the face. Another one. Oh my God. Yeah, a little bit inefficient there, but GG gets called. Scarlett will extend her lead 3-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Winding it back, it was a really quirky build here from Oliveira. I say quirky, there was definitely potential with what Oliveira was doing. But as we mentioned, it all fell apart when Oliveira lost all of his Marines. If you recall, Oliveira went for a 3-1-1 setup, Cloak Banshee into a very late 3rd base. This means Oliveira wanted to do economic damage or trade in some way, shape, or form, and sacrificed his 3rd base in favor of that. But for Oliveira to move out with his Marines at the natural, to get fully surrounded, and to lose all the bio, took any of the teeth away from his build, so he couldn't do anything. We saw the double medevac drop. He had 6 Marines. It was only 6 Marines left over, and it did nothing, so there was no pressure being applied. Oliveira was kind of cut off at his knees before it could really get going. GG, well played. Again, when you go for these like committed builds like this, when you go for such a late 3rd base, like you need everything to go well to be able to execute said build. But for it all to just fall apart so early, like everything fell apart. It's just the foundation was shaky there for Oliveira, and with that, Scarlett does take a massive lead here in the series and is 1 game away from claiming the series. But now we're loading into Rorschach. Rorschach is going to be up next. A much smaller map of the map pool. Smaller map of the map pool, short rush distance by ground. This is going to be the opportunity for Oliveira to be aggressive in the early to mid game. Like, this is Oliveira's map. Pressure's on. Let's go. Let us go. Again, traditionally, smaller maps do favor Terran players, as Zerg players have less time to react, to respond, less time to counterattack, less room here to try to extend creep and buy time. So this is where we expect aggression from our Terran. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Rorschach, we have the Canadian Zerg player, we have the blue Zerg. For Shopify, it is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom, in the bottom left-hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the Chinese Terran player, the red Terran. It is Oliveira. Here we go. Beautiful. As welcome one and all to Rorschach. Rorschach again is a smaller map. The map pool, smaller map, shorter rush distance by ground. Aggression is heavily favored here. We have healing pads in the center as well. As the observer just pointed out, we do have the high yield base on the top side, so you can try to be cheeky and go for that as a ninja expansion, but it is very difficult to get away with that hidden gold base. Likewise, we have hybrid bases right next to the main, so you can take those bases at some point, but they're also very isolated, so ill-advised to rush into the hybrid bases. But again, we have seen a lot of successful pushes here early on in ZVT. Pool first by Scarlett. So Scarlett does open pool first. Very safe play here. This would shut down if Oliveira went for a proxy. Scarlett would be able to shut it down much, much easier here. We can see there is no proxy. Likewise, Scarlett now has access to early lings. With this, we can move out with 4 to 6 lings to delay the CC of Oliveira and avoid the Reaper. Remember, there's not an all-in, but this is a way to, 1, be safe against proxies, and 2, try to get some damage done early on here and delay the economy of the Terran. The downside is late gas and late link speed as a result of that. So here we go. From here we do have 2 lings on the way, so only 2 lings. As you mentioned, like, this is not for an all-in or anything, so 2 lings, they can try to slip out across the map. Queen is on the way, gas is now being taken. From here, we just open up into our builds. Scarlett confirms that it is going to be a Rax first. Rax expand. The lings, they move out, and we'll see if they can avoid the Reaper. Can they avoid? Likewise, we actually have a Reaper, by the way. We have not seen a Reaper in quite some time. Oliveira's been skipping. I mean, to be fair, last game we did have a Reaper, but it was Marine first. If you remember, Marine into Reaper. Oh, we're going for a Roach Rush. Okay. I mean, we just mentioned that this is a small map and it favors aggression. I was leaning more towards Terran aggression, but no, Scarlett wants to go for another Roach Rush. Lings, they get across the map, and they will distract Oliveira. There's a second Reaper back at home to defend. SCV will be saved. More importantly, does Oliveira get into the main? Does he get into the main base? Does he confirm what's going on? For now, it's going to be zoned away. With 2 Reapers, Oliveira should get in. Oh boy. Can he get into the main base? Can he scout, Bappy? Can he scout? Oh no. Behind this, going for a 3rd CC for Starport. Roach production has already begun. This is looking a little bit dire. Reapers, they dance with the Queen. They head for the mineral line, but they don't get into the main. He's not scouting. Oliveira's not checking, Pappy. This also lines up well with the early pool timing as well, as we're just skipping link speed. Roaches are revealed. Now he knows. Now he does know what's going on. Wooden mine production has begun. Not Hellions. Good call. A bunker is now on the way on the low ground. And it's on Oliveira to buy time. He's got to buy time. Nibbling away at the Roach. Again, he will delay somewhat. I mean, nice dancing, nice control. Roaches, they keep moving out. Oh. They do keep pushing. Widow mines are out. They're getting in position. But there is that Ravager. Oh. Does borrow. Oh, going for the Overlord. One of the Widow mines is going to fall. This will deny his high ground vision, I suppose. It does get the Overlord. We get the mass repair here on the SC, in the bunker, but so many SCVs going to be going down. Yeah, losing 3, losing almost up to 4 SCVs. Marines, they fill up the bunker. They fill it up, but that's still 5 workers falling. Nice focus firing on the Ravager. Yeah, nice focus firing. With that, Oliveira will hold, but this is still 7 SCV kills. I mean, this could be worse. This could be the game on Fear and Faith, right? Fear and Faith, this was critical damage. This was like 15 SCV kills. Here it is only 8 in comparison. It could be worse, but this is still some brutal damage being dealt. 8 workers do fall. Again, it was a bold move to intentionally target the Overlord with the Widow Mines. Like I kind of understand it, but at the same time, like it was a bold move. Bold decision. As the Cyclone moves out, getting a local on the third base. Can we force a cancel? Link speed is on the way. Building up our Roachling. Hatchery taking a lot of damage. And it looks like we will force a cancel. Okay. Oliveira denies the expansion. It's going to be a cancel. Dancing with the Zerglings. Again, efficient trades, but bullying the fact that there is no speed. Even catching a queen. Very nice. Does catch a queen. Represent it further into the main. Do we get a scat off? Can we get in? He tries. And he barely does. Yeah, he barely does get into the main base. Whew. I believe he checked for the lair, and he did see it researching. Even gets away. Okay. Oliveira does pull out, did spot the lair. We can see it's going to be fast lair into 2-base Muta. Ooh. Once again, Scarlett with Flare. 2-base Muta, papi. Again, Oliveira saw the lair, but that is not a tell. Like, for all Oliveira knows, it could be Roach speed into heavy Roach Ravager play. Back at home, Oliveira is recovering. I mean, what I will say is that because of the denied third base, Scarlett has been slowed down. That is true. But Oliveira is still playing blind. And is still stuck at home. Oh, did I say Red Zergo? My apologies. My apologies. It's been a long week. Also, meanwhile, big shout to Lagger, to Lagger Spatico, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. Welcome to the grand finals of the Douyu Cup. It's a best of 7 between Scarlett and Oliveira. Scarlett up 3-1. And remember, we need 4 games to claim the series. But thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Stim is complete. Oliveira is being active, but again, the Muta Spire has still not been scouted. Oliveira trades well. Catching out the Lings. Yeah, catching out 1, 2 Roaches, the Queen as well. These are efficient trades, and Scan still has yet to confirm. Now does spot the Mutas. Ooh, but the Mutas, they're going to be focused down. Yeah, gets 1, gets 2. Catching out 2 Mutalisks, but cannot get the rest. It's going to be forced back. Did trade well for himself and does have some precious time to recover, to respond. Medevacs going to be chased down. Turret production has begun. Marines, they do save one of the Medevacs. Oof. Oliveira saves 1, and now we have a back and forth. Oliveira had time to respond. Throws down 2 more Raxes. We're A-Raxing. Oh, okay. Oliveira, the healing. Yeah, let's go. The healing pad. Heals up the Marines. He's A-Raxing. 3-base all in. I do actually like the idea of an A-Rax here, specifically on Rorschach. At the same time, he doesn't come in from behind. They delay reinforcements. They keep the Marines back at home. And do we have any Banelings ready to defend? It's going to be 0-0 Ling Bane against the 1-1 Bio Army. Oliveira ferrying his reinforcements. Baneling speed is done. 9 more Banelings on the way. Scarlett cannot engage off a creep. And so far, nice spread. A nice spread here from Oliveira. Tanks, they're pushing in. They're getting within range of the Banelings. They're going to finish. Yeah, they do finish in time. Massive tank shots. Oh my god. Mine shots as well. The Banelings, they get shut down. There's no more Ling Bane. The expansion has been broken. Oliveira, he snowballs out of control. Breaks through the Queens. Breaks through Ling Bane. The hatchery will fall as well. And can we keep going? Remember, this is an 8-Rax. It's a 3-base all in. Oliveira is 8-Raxing and Scarlett is in trouble. We have more Banelings on the way. Oliveira's deep on creep. True. Deep on creep. But Banelings, they will be able to connect this time. But Scarlett's in trouble. And again, this is the power of a smaller map. Like, these reinforcements from Oliveira, they arrive faster than any other map out there. They arrive very, very quickly. In the current map pool, I should say. So these pushes, they hit harder on Rorschach. Starting back Scarlett. Banelings are trying to roll in. Massive tank shots on the Banelings. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, tank shots, they pop off. Mutas, they catch reinforcements. Nice catch here from Scarlett. Catching out the reinforcements. And Marines are getting caught out. Oliveira pushing in. Show us the main fight. Show us. Oh my god. We had a couple of decent baiting connections, and Oliveira's running out of Marines. Yeah, he's running out of Marines here, but does he have enough? He does. Yeah, he does have enough here. The Mutas get focused out one after the other. GG gets called, and Oliveira fights back. We have a series. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Scarlett's going for the early Roach Rush, was able to get 8 SCV kills, which was good damage, but Oliveira was able to counterattack, able to catch and deny the third base. If you recall, we spoke about how that was going to, and that did slow Scarlett down. Scarlett went 2-base Muta. Meanwhile, what was Oliveira doing? Was going for an A rank. So it was going for an A rank. 3-base all in by Oliveira. Hyper committed, hyper aggressive. And this hits harder just because the reinforcements arrive so much faster. That rush distance by ground is very short on Rorschach. So this build is specifically, I would say, bolstered by the map specifically. By that map. That's why we mentioned earlier that aggression is favored on Rorschach. We saw that one bad fight and everything just snowballs out of control for Scarlett. Breaks through the Banelings, breaks through the base. GG. GG, well played. Whew, with that, Oliveira does fight back. We do continue this series, but remember, Scarlett still needs one more game to claim the series, and we'll see if she can claim it. Very quickly here, the next map is going to be on Sanctuary 3. Oh, okay. We're going to be loading into Sanctuary 3 here. Sanctuary 3 is a larger map compared to Rorschach, compared to Rainfall, and a little bit more defendable in certain ways. We'll get into it. We will get into it. As you can see here, still very tense for Oliveira. You can see him breathe a big sigh of relief after that last game, but he's not out of the woods yet. Can we make it to the ace match? As a caster, I'm greedy. Like, regardless of who wins this series, like I would love a game 7. But we're greedy like that. True. Let's go. Let us go. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sanctuary 3, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the right-hand corner, we have the Chinese Terran, the red Terran. It is Oliveira. Let's go. Whew. Let us go. Welcome one all to Sanctuary 3. Sanctuary 3 is one of the larger maps in the map pool compared to some of the other smaller maps, of course. It does have a very secure 2-base setup. What I mean by that, ramp. There's a ramp coming into the natural, so a very secure 2-base setup here. The third base is a little bit more open, a little bit more exposed, specifically the triangular third and even the low ground third base as well. And there's an area in between the bases that you can abuse, but we bring this up all the time. When it comes to that rush distance across the map, it's relatively short, but there are ways to slow down an opponent. There are slow zones in the center, there are choke points in the center, there are destructible towers in the center as well. There are ways to slow down an army, there are ways to try to slow down, to buy time, to engage ahead of time as well. The center of the map has been made a little bit more complex over the past couple of TLMCs. And I'm curious to see how our players do approach this game. How do we approach this? Show us what you got. Whew. Here we go. We have a series, Pappy. True, true. Do we have an ace match, though? For now, it is going to be a hatch pool opener here by Scarlett. Once again, going for a slightly later gas geyser. This is to be able to get the queens up and running in time. The lings as well to defend against said Reaper. To get them out a little bit faster. Likewise, we do have Oliveira back at home going for a standard opener himself, going for a Reaper first. There's no Marine first, so there's no 2-Rax Reaper. I don't think I would have been opposed to 2-Rax Reaper on this map, but maybe the slow zone or the rush distance is a little bit more complex. It does kind of dissuade that. For now, though, we're calming down, we're settling in. So what haven't we seen yet from Oliveira? I don't think we've seen the 3cc 2-on-1, like an economic variation of 2-on-1. I think this might be a good map for that sort of thing, as we have 6 lings on the way. So an extra pair of lings here for Scarlett. Just to be safe. Reaper does move out. It's on these links to buy time for the queen. And they should be able to. Yeah, the dance has begun. Reaper pokes in and nibbles away at the lings. But so far, Scarlett defends well, and the queen will pop. So Scarlett defends, Scarlett deflects. Behind this, we do have the factory follow-up, so there's no 2-on-1. Oh. Scarlett barely saving the tumor. Let's go. Oh, and we're going for a fast third CC. Okay, it's been a while. So fast third CC here from Oliveira, going for a more economic build. And again, it makes sense considering the larger map. Likewise, Scarlett goes to the low ground third base, gets spotted. Won't be delayed though. So we can settle into a more macro back and forth. This is where I'm going to be a little bit concerned for Oliveira. So when it comes to the new patch here, and I'm sure you've noticed it throughout the entire series, but we have been seeing a trend of Terran players be more aggressive, and they felt the need to be more aggressive. For the most part, in a standard ZVT, if the Zerg player is left alone for too long, they can just snowball out of control and excel, and they can just ramp up very, very quickly here. So the idea of Oliveira going for a more economic build does give Scarlett a lot of freedom early on. That's true. She's going to have a lot more freedom. Observers pointing out that there is no starports. Lings, they do flood across the map. Hellions should defend. And Oliveira won't lose any workers, but he will lose some mining time. So the mining time is going to be denied. Oh. Oh. Huh? Okay, it's a 3cc 2-on-1, but we opened up with a faster factory. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. Okay, interesting. You could hear the Chinese casters, they were like, what? So this build isn't really a thing. The reasoning for this is because the second Rax is so late, it means that the marine production is delayed. And what do you get for it? You get like 4 Hellions for like some map control, I suppose. I suppose, but and I guess this is hidden as well, right? Because you reveal Hellions and there's no scout into the main base, Scarlett's not aware of what's going on and doesn't know that this is going to be a committed like bio setup. But it's a really interesting and a very unique way to get there. It's like a less efficient version of 2-on-1, just because you're making all these Hellions early on. And I mean, they allow you to threaten some of the creep at least. As you can see here come the Hellions, they move out. Oh, right, no, yeah, it's yeah. So my apologies. 362-on-1s, they usually do arrive with Hellions. But there was something off about the timing. I know, it felt weird to me. Regardless. Hellions, they poke in. You have a bio army setting up. And again, we'll see what Oliveira can achieve when it comes to the medevacs. The medevacs, they're on the horizon, they're coming, they're on the way. There's going to be Lingbane here from Scarlett, not playing Roaches this time. Building up our Lingbane, Lair is on the way as well. See Oliveira massing up his Marines back at home. Again, keeping them hidden, true. I don't believe Scarlett has gotten into the main base yet. She has not gotten in. Here we go, we have our 16 Marines, and it's go time. With this, Oliveira can now start to deny more creep and have a little bit more presence on the map. Bearing in mind it's only going to be Link Queen to defend, so Oliveira has potential here to find some damage. Assuming the Hellions didn't get caught. That might have happened. Might have happened off screen. Yeah, Link stays in away. I think the Hellions got caught out. I could be mistaken, but I didn't see them. As Scarlett has joined up to 80. If you recall, I did express my concerns at the start of this game, where it's like, if Oliveira is going for a fast third CC, that means Scarlett has the freedom to do whatever she wants, and Scarlett has joined up to 80 already, which is crazy, by the way. Meanwhile, does try to focus on the hatchery, but Lingbane is in position. Slow base, they do roll in. And again, Scarlett's on 88 drones. Oof. And the supplies, they don't really tell the whole story here because Scarlett is about to skyrocket ahead. Oliveira moves in, denies a bunch of creep. Okay, the pressure's on Oliveira. He needs to find some damage here. We get some decent trades. Cleans up all the lings. Yeah, he cleans up the Zerglings, so more reinforcements have arrived. Oliveira, he has to pull up. He has to get out of here. At the same time, moves in towards the 4th base, but Banelings are ready. Yeah, the Banelings, they smash into the Hellbats. Scarlett is holding. We have 18 more lings on the way. The target firing. Impressive target firing out of Oliveira, but he cannot keep pushing. Not like this. Yeah, not like this. Has to pull away. And you can see that supply get larger and larger now. Well, the disparity get larger here as Scarlett is building a more Lingbane. Hive is on the horizon. Infestors are on the way as well. Oliveira needs more damage. This is not good enough. Yeah, Zuderman's getting caught. Infestors are coming. Fungal's going to be soon available. We can see Oliveira back at home is getting a 4th CC, so he wants to try to build up into a macro game. Into a later game state. Once again, going for the hatchery. Oh my god. Yeah, Oliveira's controlling well. Controlling very nicely here. It's the economy that's my big concern. It's the economy. Ooh. Yeah, Fungal lands. Scarlett does catch at the bio. Marines get shut down. I think Scarlett doesn't have the larva to actually spend all her resources here as the base does fall. Okay. Snipes the 5th. 5th base goes down. Scarlett does push off of creep, so a bit of a rough fight here for Scarlett. Uh-oh. Oliveira gaining some ground. And again, Scarlett, unfortunately, we have a bit of a man cave. We need to spend that. There's Ultra Cavern. Scarlett still needs more time. Oof. As Banelings reconnect. Oliveira getting caught. And we were here earlier in the series. Oh my god. We were here earlier in the series where the pressure's on Oliveira to try to get critical damage done pre-Ultra. Is denying the 5th base. Denying the 5th. Pushing on the right-hand side. At least is denying all the creep here as well. This time pushing out with his main army. And this is it for Oliveira. Ooh, Scarlett goes for a massive Ling counterattack. Okay. Does hit the 3rd. Yeah, Lings, they do get into the mineral line. SCV is going to be going down. Ah, this is getting out of hand here. So many SCV kills. Oh, the Fungals are landing as well. Yeah, the Fungals land massive Baneling shots. Banelings, they connect. 14 SCV kills. And as I mentioned, Scarlett, she was allowed to drone up to 88 workers. Like, yeah, it lands another Fungal, catching up more of the bio. And Oliveira is just being torn apart. Oliveira cannot keep up with this. Not like this, not these losses, not after losing 14 SCVs. And it's all falling apart. It's all falling apart here. Again, the one game that Oliveira decided to play more standard, more macro, and it gives Scarlett so much freedom. So much more. Once again, you could definitely argue that maybe the map itself did kind of de-incentivize Oliveira from trying to be more active and trying to be more aggressive. Oh. Just because of the defensive nature that is Sanctuary 3. And it's on Oliveira to turtle up. To try to turtle up. Liberators are amassing. What's our tank line looking like? Scarlett's maxed out. Oh, we're shocking around, ready for the Fungals. Lands one. Yeah, one Fungal lands. Ready for another. Mind Shield stay. Ooh, we get some okay connections. But now we have some anti-air. Yeah, power bombs on the Metamax. Bio Army gets caught out at the same time. Another Link Force here towards the mineral line. More SCVs falling. Some heavy losses there, and GG gets called. GG gets called, and Scarlett, she will claim the series 4-2, and she will become the Douyu Cup 2026 champion. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to Scarlett. She will claim the series. Again, we did see a lot of intensity throughout the course of this series, but here on Sanctuary 3, we did see Oliveira go for a much more economic build, and Scarlett, she was left to embrace the swarm, if you will. Drone up to 88 so quickly. Drone up to 80 specifically so quickly. High drone count, strong economy, and despite the damage from Oliveira, could not keep up with the economy of Scarlett. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. And with that, we have our winners interview.
我们把掌声送给 Scarlett， 恭喜她获得了本次传奇邀请赛的冠军。
Yo, we got some Kerrigan cosplay.
带来了一场非常精彩的总决赛，也是想问一下 Scarlett， 觉得在总决赛的时候，其实自己一开始已经拿到了一个赛点，然后当时被扳掉了1分的时候，是怎么去调节心态，最后一波拿下的？
You know, when you get the match points and Oliveira turn one match back, and how you just change your man, you move to just make the match point, make the final match that come true, and to be the champion.
Well, earlier in the series, when I was playing the Lingbane styles, it felt much stronger than when I played Roaches. So I stopped doing some weird builds. I just played normal, and I thought that would be good enough.
OK， 一开始他觉得受到一些压力，因为他输了那局，然后于是他的下一局呢用了一些不同的构筑去对阵李培南，然后也起到了效果，然后最终也拿下了这场比赛。
那这一次来到我们中国线下，其实已经时隔了很久。
The art is solid, by the way, for the players.
冠军，然后在这一次比赛里面，觉得自己最大的收获是什么
？It's a long time to be the champion almost in China. And which your greatest harvest of in this offline?
Greatest what?
Harvest. Harvest. Yeah. Well, which you get this get. What do you mean? I mean, if you get something in this offline, yeah, just like feeling. Yeah, it's feeling. Yes.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I won a tournament, so I'm very happy. On this patch, I definitely had more advantage than before, especially against Protoss, so I don't know, that kind of sours it a little bit, but I'm still very happy to win a tournament after a long time.
OK， 他非常开心，终于拿到了一个冠军啊！虽然说，这个可能是有一点点这个版本的原因啊。他觉得有一点点内疚，但是还是很开心赢得了这个冠军。
我们这一次线下也是来了很多的中国观众，其实我们中国观众很多人也是一直看着你这么多年打比赛到现在，那这一次又能在中国线下亲眼见证你拿到这个冠军，有什么话想对我们的粉丝们说的吗
？There are a lot of Chinese supporters to you, and a lot of Chinese fans come for you. Do you want to say something to Chinese fans?
我已经打了星际争霸很久了，我很开心，现在还有这样的线下的比赛，我每次来到中国，我很开心，认识了很多粉丝。中国的粉丝一直对我很热情，所以我感谢你们。
谢谢大家一路以来一直陪伴着星际争霸，现场有很多观众都是从很早就开始看比赛，一路陪我们到现在。那这一次的传奇邀请赛也是落幕了，但是我们星际争霸的传奇永远都不会落幕。那接下来我们会有请我们获奖的选手们都来到我们的舞台上进行颁奖，那也是有请我们的选手们来到舞台上，我们的2、3、4名都会来到台上，我们一起来进行我们的颁奖典礼，把掌声送给我们的选手。这几天给我们上演了非常精彩的星际对决。
Yeah, we're getting TY and Neeb on stage.
来，也是有请到了我们的这个季军、殿军，然后也是要有请我们的 SC Boy 来为他们送上我们的这个奖金牌。
Oh, the big checks. They're coming out.
来，我们把掌声也是送给我们的4强选手们。好，那接下来的话要有请我们的 SC Boy 来给我们的冠亚军颁奖。来，我们有请一下我们的颁奖嘉宾。 来，我们把掌声再一次送给我们的选手们，让他们感受一下中国粉丝的热情。来，也是把掌声送给牛牛哥哥，这几天的比赛打得非常的精彩，让我们能再一次时隔了很多年，我们又能看到牛牛哥哥在线下比赛，无论结果怎么样，他的每一场比赛都值得我们为他欢呼。来，也是我们的。 有请我们的这个 SC Boy 给我们的冠军嘎姐进行颁奖。谢谢我们所有的观众朋友们，也谢谢我们的主办方以及我们赛前的幕后的所有工作人员，还有我们所有的参赛选手们，是他们在这个夏天带我们又重新领略到了《星际争霸2》这款游戏的魅力。知道现场有很多人从很早就开始关注着比赛，那么到现在我们线下还可以看到那么多熟悉的面孔，那么多老选手依然在这个场上拼搏。我们跟《星际争霸2》的故事永远都不会落幕。希望下一次我们的线下赛还能再看到你们。
Oh, the confetti!
掌声有请本次比赛的所有参赛选手来到舞台上，掌声欢迎他们。
Let's go. I love that usually for events like this, we have like confetti dispensers like in the ceiling or like coming out from the ground, but here the front row. We hired the front row for the confetti. Let's go. I like the idea of like the finals they start and then they go to the front, the people in the front row, they're like, okay, you're on confetti duty. You're on Got a very important job.
很多人的 ID 我们可能以为他们已经退出了比赛的视野，但是也是要感谢星际老男孩，感谢我们的斗鱼，感谢我们的武汉当地为我们筹办了这一次的传奇邀请赛，让我们再一次看到这些曾经熟悉的 ID， 他们依然可以在比赛场上给我们带来精彩的比赛。那现在我们全场一起欢呼，送给大家。 星际争霸2永不落幕，我们下一次再见吧，拜拜，
拜拜。
今天还是一个特别的日子，你们知道是什么日子吗？来，我们也是为李少准备了一个小小的蛋糕，我们全场一起来为李少的生日庆祝一下吧。
Oh, is it someone's birthday? Wait, what? Oh. Whose birthday? Cyan? Oliveira? This song better not copyright strike us on YouTube. Is it Penon's birthday?
谢谢李少这么多年的陪伴，我们觉得我们能够在线下再一次看到你站在比赛的舞台上，对很多人
Yeah, it's his birthday. Ah, it's his birthday. Ah, I didn't realize. Yeah.
很多人也是因为你的这一段传奇。
It's Oliveira's birthday.
最后跟我们的
28th of June.
我觉得这次我尽力了吧，这次尽力了，确实。
啊。
其实决赛，我是感觉有2把还是有点机会，但是确实差点吧。 而且我是觉得这次没什么遗憾嘛，就对我来说，我确实尽力准备了。而且我觉得， 确实生活不止电竞吧，也不止游戏。我祝各位，就是趁着生日这个机会，也祝各位除了电竞，生活方面顺风顺水，然后越来越好吧。谢谢大家。
谢谢李培南的祝福。那我们最后一起全场来祝李培南生日快乐。我说李培南，大家一起说生日快乐。来，3、2、1，李培南。
李培南。
谢谢大家。
I wish I had known. I wish I had known ahead of time.
好，那我们一起来一个全场大合影，我们选手一起，背对着，被摄影师到上面来，然后我们背对着，我们大家一起来合影留念一下，来吧。
兄弟们，上台合影了！
来，我们后面的兄弟注意啊，注意安全，不要那个急，不要急，慢一点。
They're like, okay, everyone line up. You get a slice of cake.
一起来一个大合影，哎，不要上台，观众们
line up.
注意安全，注意安全。
One slice each. Now we're taking a big group photo. Taking a photo of the crowd, of the audience. Let's go.
兄弟们往后退一点，我们选手们要到下面来，不然照不全。来一个大合影环节。
Crowd shot. Let's go. This is really cool because for those that are curious about big events like IM Katowice or DreamHacks, they often do photos like this, but of the crew, like the crew and the players, like the production team, I should say. I don't know the last time it's been something like this where they get the crowd. The crowd and the players and the crew. Let's go.
Let's 来，我录一段视频，我们一起《星际争霸2》牛逼！来，3、2、1，《星际争霸2》牛逼！
It's like everyone.
谢谢大家。
We're going to hop on after this. Let's go. Let's.
我们下次再见，拜拜。
Bye bye. It's hot pot time. Scarlett's paying.
下次再见。
GG, well played. So wholesome. I didn't realize it was Paynon's birthday. Happy birthday, Oliveira. Happy birthday. A little bit bittersweet, but hey, he made it to the finals. Did make it to the finals. Did make for a very fun finals as well. Very intense, very back and forth. A little bit bittersweet that, of course, Paynon wasn't our champion. But I will say, it's good. I will say that despite Paynon not becoming the champion, I mean, I feel like Scarlett is a really nice fit for the crowd as well, right? Scarlett has so much history in China, going, of course, to China, competing in so many events, knowing Chinese as well, or Mandarin, I should say. So it was still quite fitting and still very wholesome as well. And I'm sure the crowd and everyone did appreciate that she even had some words in their native language to, of course, send that appreciation to the people in the crowd as well. So GG, well played. Congratulations, Scarlett is going to be our champion of Douyu Cup 2026. Here's to more in the future as well. GG, well played. And again, hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Hope you guys had a great time. It was a lot of fun seeing all these players from years gone by once again. Some old school players like Impact, Fantasy, TY, Innovation. I highly recommend the VOD. VODs are available over on YouTube. They're already available there. Hopefully the birthday song doesn't copyright strike us. Fun fact, some of the parody songs from yesterday did actually land us some copyright strikes. I had to edit it out of yesterday's VOD. SMH my head. It's a birthday song. It should be available to the public, but we'll see. Regardless, GG, well played. When it comes to the patch itself, when it comes to the event itself, we kind of alluded to it before. When it comes to the ZVT that we just experienced here in the finals, is Henan, is Oliveira being hyper aggressive throughout the series, and I feel like the final game shows kind of the current strength of Zerg in that matchup, and why we've been seeing so much aggression in ZVT in the current iteration of the game. That is because of the lava change, the lava spawn rate. Because of that, we do see increased droning, increased saturation, increased economy, and a faster kind of explosion in the mid game. And I feel like the best example of that was the final game. The final game was on Sanctuary 3 was the best example of that, where Scarlett was able to secure her economy very quickly, very easily. Oliveira went for an economic opener, so he was unable to be aggressive early on, and Scarlett just snowballed out of control. Like it was I would say that the last game was the most one-sided game, but it was the game that showcased the current I would say issue with Zerg at the moment in ZVT. But when it comes to the other games, like again, because everyone knows this, like Oliveira was being hyper aggressive and hyper in the face of Scarlett, and it was we had some good games. It was very intense, very back and forth, of course, as we did need some more intensity out of Oliveira. There were some of those games that could have even gone a little bit further his way. There were some unfortunate moments, like, for example, the game on Fear and Faith, where Oliveira had no idea the Nolan was coming and did not see the build coming across the map, for example. So there's some other extremes like that. But that was just based off of scouting, of course, based off of scouting. When it comes to ZVP, which Scarlett also did allude to as well, it's very similar for the Neeb series. If you remember, Neeb versus Scarlett, Neeb went for a Twilight Council opener every game. It was Glaives or it was Charge. The rationale for this is because standard play, which would have been blink play, if you remember, Scarlett mentioned this in her winners interview, Neeb just could not hold his own. Like, playing standard against Zerg just was not able to cut it. Scarlett was able to dominate those games, at least according to Scarlett. So we had Neeb trying to be like hyper aggressive and all in instead, and was able to find some success with that with those glaive ups, but was kind of forced into that. And we saw something similar with Oliveira as well. I think what I will say, and again, Scarlett even said it herself, that like it does kind of like sour the win a little bit, but again, GG, well won, well deserved play here from Scarlett to become our champion. I think what I will say is that I think everyone knows. I mean, everyone who's in StarCraft right now. Maybe just everyone should be aware that a patch is coming. A patch will be adjusting a lot of this as well. So the real question becomes, how long is it going to take for that patch to hit? We know that it's going to be like probably pre-BlizzCon. From my understanding, from what I know, like Blizzard are seeing the games, they're seeing the feedback, and there is going to be like a response to this. But like when that's going to hit and what tournaments are going to be impacted, it's hard to say. Homestar Cup is around the corner. BlizzCon is in September. So we'll see. But yeah, regardless, GG well played. Regardless, it was still a very fun event nonetheless to see everyone coming back. Again, for those who are unaware, Homestar Cup, which is next week, is going to be on the live version of the game, not on the old version. It's going to be on the live version, so you're going to be able to see more of these games there as well. Masters of the Game was the only event that played on a mod that features the older version of the game, but that's the only event that's doing that. And you should just assume that all the other tournaments are going to be on the current live iteration, at least when it comes to Homestar Cup and RSL and weeklies as well. But with that, we are going to be wrapping up. Just catching up. Korean BBQ for everyone. No. Chinese hot pot. Wuhan hot pot. I'm hungry now. But yeah, with that, GG well played. Congratulations to Scarlett. Shout out to Oliveira. And again, if you missed out on some of the other games here, do check out the VODs. Over on our YouTube channel. youtube.com/CranKy Ducklings, or you can see the links on Twitch. Otherwise, we're going to be wrapping up here, and our next broadcast is going to be tomorrow. Let me just double check here. Do we have our schedule updated? I'm not too sure if we do. Bam, not quite. So our next stream should be tomorrow. We're going to be live with the RSL qualifiers. the Americas qualifiers are going to be tomorrow, and the Korean qualifier is going to be on Tuesday. So we're going to be all over the RSL qualifiers, and we also have the Wardy TV Monday tomorrow evening as well. So again, plenty of content. For those that may be tuning in for the first time, we do cast StarCraft on a daily basis. We cast the Open Cups, and of course big events like GSL, GSL CK, of course, like Douyu Cup, Homestar Cup. In the past, we were the B stream for Homestar Cup, but nowadays we will not be the B stream anymore, as it's at a really rough time for us here in Australia. So I like sleep. I've learned to like to sleep at some point, so so we're not covering Homestar Cup. We'll probably cover it via replays or something later. Otherwise, there's plenty of other events going on that we're otherwise busy with, and a lot of StarCraft on the horizon. As always, GG. GG well played. With that, take care, everyone. Take care. If you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon, !Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. We do host events. We do run events on a weekly basis here. The Sparkling Tuna Cup is our weekly Open Cup, all funded via the Patreon. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Until then, thanks for watching. Take care. Hasta luego. Ciao. Papi ciao. Hasta luego.